G'day guys, Dom here. So I'm back, healthy again, which is great. You know when you've just been sick for a couple of days and you're just coughing all day and can't breathe properly? Yeah, that's and then you get healthy. Oh my god, that's the best thing when you finally get healthy and you can breathe clearly and you don't feel like sleeping on the floor. It's pretty good stuff. Anyway, so the last couple of days I've been at tip-top shape, and I've been finishing off a bunch of knives. I've had all these. I've got about, I want to say, another 10 or so knives that are pretty much done. Just need a bit of finishing work on this. And a week ago I had about 20 or something. I just have a shitload of knives that are almost done, but not quite. So yeah, expect to see quite a bit of stuff coming out from me in the next few days / weeks. Anyway, so main part of this video is these things are finished. So you already seen me do 5 of these last week, or the week before, I kind of forget. These are my friction folders. I'm not going to go into too much detail with these on the specs and all that, because that's in the previous video. But yeah, so these are all going off to Urban again. And he's going to be selling them on his site. That's Urbanedcsupply. And this time around, these all have hand rub satin finishes. And let me tell you, after doing 5 of these in a row, I am so over sanding things, it's not even funny. I had to kind of like break it up, so I'd sand for like 3 or 4 hours, and then I'd do something else, and then I'd come back and sand for 3 to 4 hours, just to keep me kind of sane, just because, yeah, it's, I don't know how people do it. There's makers out there who hand sand everything, and I do 2 blades, and I want to kill myself, so... Anyway, so I don't know if I'll ever do another batch of these with hand sanded blades. I'll do like individual ones, but 5 at once, oh shit, that was bad. Unless, you know, Urban asks me nicely, and then I'll probably say yes because I'm a whore. So yeah, that one, of course, these are all dig shaving sharp. And just sharpening these things is always terrifying, because when you've done that hand sanded finish, you've already got about 2 hours worth of work into it, and you really, I don't want to, you know, scratch it up when you're sharpening it. So you sharpen so damn carefully, it's hilarious. So that's that one. I'll just go through another one actually, just so show you how similar I got these, because that's the big challenge of doing a big, you know, dealer order, is that they all got to be fairly similar. So the only real difference between these is usually how far back the grind goes, which is pretty similar in all of them, and the color on the titanium. So because I do these with the torch, some of them might have a little bit of blue in there, some might have a bit more bronze in there. It's just the way it is. I'm considering getting an electroanodizing setup, or electro acid solution, so I can color these differently and make them more consistent. Only reason I'm not doing it at the moment is because this stuff is way more it's way more durable if you do it with heat. Like, you can kind of do anodizing with an etching unit, like for doing logos, and that thing comes off, that finish comes off so easy that I'm a little bit cautious about, you know, starting to do electroanodizing, because I want this finish to last as long as I can. So yeah, that's the lot. There is a build video coming out on these. I have filmed it. I just need to film the outro, and then I need to edit it all together. I'm thinking I might do a 2-part video, because I've had a couple issues in the past of people ripping my content, especially like the 25mm one. That one gets ripped off every other week. I get a message saying, hey, this dickhead's taken your video. So I might start breaking them up. I know Simple Little Life was talking about this, about breaking up the video in 2 parts to make it harder to steal. And I think that's probably the way to go. Makes it harder for them to steal my shit. Also means I might make a little bit more ad revenue, which would be nice. It'd help out a little bit if I can make a little more money off YouTube. So that's the friction folders. I'm going to send these all off to Urbanedcsupply next week. So he's got a YouTube channel. He does more nice tabletop-y kind of things, kind of like this, but less shitty. So instead of me just rocking up and pointing the camera to light and saying, all right, the sun's up, let's do this, he kind of actually has an actual light box and does HD shots where it might be in focus. I know that sounds crazy, but he might actually have it in focus video, which should be good, because I think my YouTube videos consist of like 10% swearing, 40% out of focus shots, and then like 50% of the time me not knowing what to say and just awkward silence, which is great. That's the combination for DB blades. Anyway, so yeah, build video coming up on that probably next week. I just got to, you know, force myself to edit things. And besides that, we have another batch which was very popular about 5 months ago. Maybe less than that. I'm terrible with dates. But a while ago, I made a couple of these and they went really well. I think they sold out within a day or two, so that was a good thing for me to make more. But again, I'm slow, so it took me a really long time to finish these. So here we are. These are my surgeons, and that one should not be in there. These are my surgeons. So these are the lightest neck knife I make. They average out at 55 grams. I don't know what that is in American numbers, but they weigh fuck all. They're so light that you can almost forget you're wearing them around your neck. It's crazy. So these all come with Kydex sheaths, and these are the new style sheath now. So the previous style was like this. It was a lot wider, and they'd often have a bit of a kink to them, just because of the way it's made. And it's also a little bit heavier, not much because Kydex weighs almost nothing, but they're also a little heavier. So the new style, as you can see, much more compact, so it carries between the man boobs nicer, or the real boobs if you're a woman. It's more compact, it's not going to, you know, dig into you as much, or hardly at all, because again, more compact, less room for the Kydex to move around a bit. Lighter, and yeah, all that sort of good shit. And of course, you know, rounded and polished edges all around on all of these. And I had these all Cerakoted. Now the reason I get these things Cerakoted is because of the way the Kydex sheath is made. It will scratch your knife. I want to say I made 30 or so test sheaths. Like, I mean, I spent almost 3 days making test sheaths trying to make a Kydex sheath that wouldn't mark up your blade at all. And at this point, I'm going to say it's not possible. So if you buy one of these, just know that they will scratch, they will wear, especially right here. I know if the camera's probably not going to pick it up, but there's like a clear line right here on the other side where it kind of catches in here. And that's just the way it's going to be, I think. It means that the knife doesn't have any rattle. It's never going to fall out. I mean, that's in there. It's not going to, you know, fall out of your chest. It's not going to fall out of the sheath when you're running or something. But it is going to scratch up your Kydex because there's no. It's going to scratch up your finish because there's no buffer there or anything. The Cerakote helps quite a bit because it's a fairly wear-resistant coating compared to just plain steel or an acid stone wash or something. So Cerakote definitely helps, but it will scratch up over time. That being said, this is a great user. It's probably one of my favorite knives right now. I've been EDCing one of these, and they're so light. I really like them for running because they're so light that you know, if you're running, you got, you know, thin shorts on. It's not great to have a folder in your pocket. One of these things, you can have that around your neck. It's a lot easier to carry. And these things are ground thin with nice fine edges on them, so they cut like fucking crazy. These are all chisel ground. That just makes it easy for me to grind. It helps me keep the price down. And it also means they're very, very easy to sharpen. I mean, if you can't sharpen one of these things, you need help. Because it's essentially just one angle you've got to maintain, and you just got to deburr it. I did a video on sharpening these years ago, so just look through my channel. There's a video on sharpening chisel grinds. They're very easy to sharpen. Anyone can do it. So yeah, that's that one. And of course, I made a bunch. So we got lefties, we've got righties. I made 2 left-handed ones, and I made a bunch of right-handed ones. And the left-handed ones usually go fairly quickly because the lefty crowd typically gets abused and ignored. So you can see you've got a small little blade on there. It's all you need really. You don't need a massive blade on that. And a big blade on this is just going to get in the way. It's going to take up more real estate on your chest. So I opted for a long handle so you have more control over that edge versus a tiny little handle and a massive blade, which is just crazy. I know they're not going to fall out. I can shake that as much as I want. Ain't coming out, and all rock solid. So yeah, that's those. They will be on the site by tonight, most likely. And yeah, oh, by the way, I'm making a bunch of these in CPM 10V. They'll be coming out in a few, I want to say weeks, but it might actually be months, because I was at the heat treaters yesterday, and they had them at 65 Rockwell, which is like glass. So they're tempering them back, and then they've got to go out for Cerakote. It's, I don't know. I'm hoping to get them out within the next few weeks, but we'll see. So those are coming, and are like the most crazy steel I've ever worked with. Yeah, they're going to be expensive. I don't know how expensive, but they're going to be expensive, the 10V ones. These are nice and cheap. And I am actually thinking about offering these with a leather sheath, just entirely so they don't scratch. I'm not quite sure though, because once you have a leather sheath on there, it's going to get pretty heavy. It's also going to be a lot bulkier, and it may have issues with sweating on them. I don't know. But if any of you guys would be interested in getting these with leather sheaths, I might get them priced up by some guys I know to get these get leather sheaths made for these, because they're pretty similar designs. I could probably just get a bunch cut and have like a generic leather sheath that they all fit into, because these are all water jet cut and they're all fairly similar. Anyway, yeah, that's just about it. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I know my upload schedule has been pretty abysmal lately, but we're getting better. I know there's going to be probably about, between the build video and I've got to do an assembly video on these, because these are interesting to assemble. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.